If you are a high-achieving woman who keeps putting off your insurance and financial protection, I'm not here to judge you today. I'm here to tell you exactly why it is happening. Because in 9 years of doing this work, I have sat across from some of the most capable, successful, and driven women I have ever met. Women who make million-dollar decisions at work without blinking. Women who manage teams, who run businesses, and hold entire families together. And yet, when it comes to protecting themselves financially, they stall. It is not because they don't know any better. It is not because they cannot afford it. It is because of 7 very specific reasons that nobody in this industry ever talks about. So today I'm going to talk about all of them. Now, before I get into the 7 real reasons, I want to address something first. If I ask you right now why you haven't sought out your financial protection yet, you would probably give me one of these answers. I already have insurance through my company. My budget is tight right now. I'm waiting until things settle down. I don't really understand it, so I want to do more research first. Or my personal favorite, I'm still young, I have time. I hear this every single week. And here is what I want you to know. Those are not the real reasons. Those are the surface reasons. Those are the answers that are socially acceptable to say out loud to a stranger or an advisor you have just met. Now, the real reasons run much deeper, and they are almost never spoken out loud because they involve things that feel too personal, too vulnerable, or too complicated to explain to someone who is essentially still trying to sell you something. Now, let me show you what I mean, because when I dig beneath these surface answers with the women I work with, what I actually find underneath is one of these 7 things. Reason number 1, competence doubt. So in her career, she's the expert in the room, and she knows her work better than almost everyone. But the moment she sits in front of a financial advisor and starts hearing words like policy exclusions, investment-linked plans, sum assured riders, surrender value, she suddenly feels like a complete beginner. And for such a high-achieving woman, that feeling is very uncomfortable. So she doesn't ask any questions. She just nods her head and she says she understands, and then she goes home and does absolutely nothing. The advisor assumes she needs more information. So he sends her a 20-page report or a product comparison spreadsheet or a follow-up email with 3 attachments. Now, that is completely not the right move because she doesn't need more information. She needs a safe space to say, I actually don't fully understand this. Can you explain it simply without making me sound like I should already know this? Now, if that's you, I want you to hear this clearly. Not knowing is completely okay. This industry, our industry, deliberately makes things complicated. So a good advisor's job is to make the complicated feel simple. If yours isn't doing that, then that is not your failure. That is theirs. Reason number 2, autonomy versus loyalty. Now, this one runs deeper and almost no one say it out loud. She wants to protect herself and she knows she needs income protection, medical coverage, or a financial plan for her future. But the moment she actually moves towards it, a voice inside her says, if I go and set up my own protection plan, now does that mean I don't trust my husband to take care of me? Does that mean I think our marriage isn't strong enough? Especially for women raised with traditional family values. Now, this tension is very real. Protecting yourself can feel like you are quietly hedging against your own marriage, like you're building a safety net you're not supposed to need. Even just having that thought can feel like a betrayal. So she pulls back and she does nothing. I want to say something directly to you if this is where you are. Now, protecting yourself is not a sign that you distrust your partner. Not at all. It is actually the opposite. It means you love your family enough to make sure you never become a financial burden on them if something goes wrong. A strong marriage and a strong personal protection plan are not in conflict. You can have both, and you are allowed to have both. Reason number 3, the approval trap. Now, she has done all the research. She understands what she needs. She's almost ready to say yes. Then she says 5 words that put everything on hold. Let me check with my husband. So on the surface, that sounds completely reasonable. Financial decisions should involve both partners. But here is what is actually happening beneath that sentence for many high-achieving women. It is not that she genuinely needs his input on the financial logic. She already understands it. What she is really doing is seeking permission. And that permission may never come cleanly. Maybe her husband says, oh, he needs more time to think about it. Maybe he questions the advisor's motives. Or maybe he says, well, the money can be put to better use. Maybe he simply stays quiet, passive, and non-committal, which almost feels like a soft no. And she, not wanting to create conflict, quietly lets the whole thing drop. Here's what I want you to sit with. You do not need anyone's permission to protect yourself. Your income, your body, your earning capacity, now this belongs to you. A plan that protects your ability to keep providing for your family is not a personal indulgence. It is a responsible decision that benefits everyone in your household, including your husband. The most loving thing you can do for your family is to make sure that if something happens to you, they are not left scrambling. And you do not need permission to love your family well. Reason 4, comparison trap. So her friend just bought an endowment plan with $20,000 annual premium and says it's the best decision she ever made. Her colleague swears that term insurance is the only smart choice. She read an article online saying that ILP are complete waste of money. Now she doesn't know what to believe. She starts wondering, did I buy the wrong thing? Am I overpaying? Should I cancel everything and start over? Is everyone else doing this better than me? And here is the problem. Because every person's financial situation is different, there will always be a reason to doubt. There will always be someone with a different plan who seems to be doing it smarter and better. So she keeps waiting, keeps on researching online, keeps delaying, and advisors usually don't address this directly because they're afraid of adding to the confusion. But leaving it unspoken just means she stays stuck indefinitely. Now, the truth is that there is no universally best insurance plan. There's only the plan that is right for your specific income right now. Your specific family structure, your specific protection gets right now. Your plan should never be compared to your friend's plan because your friend is not you. Now, when you have a plan built entirely around your actual situation, the comparison trap simply loses its grip. Reason number 5, the mental energy cost. She is already making decisions all day long. Decisions at work, decisions about the children, her parents, decisions about the household, about vacations. Her mental bandwidth is not unlimited, even though she performs as though it is. Then suddenly someone tells her that she needs to sit down, review her full financial needs, research different insurance products, compare premiums across multiple companies, and build a protection plan for the next 30 years. Now that is not a task, that is an avalanche. So she says what every exhausted high achiever says. I will get to it when things calm down. But things never calm down. So advisors think that faster responses or shorter meetings will solve this. But they won't, because the issue is not speed, it is the cognitive load. What actually moves her forward is radical simplification, not more options, fewer, not there are 8 things for you to consider, but instead based on your situation, here are the 2 things that matter most right now. You just need to make one decision today. This framing changes everything. Reason 6, future self disconnect. Now, insurance protects the future, but the future is abstract. Right now, she feels healthy, she's performing well, her income is strong. So asking her to vividly imagine getting seriously ill, losing her ability to work, or dying prematurely, this simply doesn't feel real or relevant to her life today. And many advisors might make the mistake of leaning into fear to manufacture that urgency. What if you get cancer tomorrow? What if you can't work next year? What if your family has nothing left? For most people, that creates some kind of pressure. But for high-achieving women, it often backfires completely because her identity is built around capability, resilience, and forward momentum. Her internal response to fear-based selling is that won't happen to me. And then she closes that conversation. The approach that actually works is not painting a frightening future, but probably painting a free future. So when she can see that having the right protection means her income continues, even if something goes wrong, her lifestyle can stay intact, Children are not affected. Her savings are preserved. She doesn't feel fear. She feels something far more powerful. She feels the peace of mind. And for a woman who is carrying so much, that specific feeling of security is what finally moves her to act. And reason 7, deep doubt that anyone actually has her back. Now, this is the deepest layer of all, and it is the one she will almost never say directly to an advisor's face. Most advisors she has encountered have felt transactional to her. They show up, explain the product, got a signature, collected a commission, and then gradually disappeared. A birthday message here, a Chinese New Year greeting there, but the real ongoing relationship she quietly hoped for never quite materialized. So now she is defensive. And even when she meets a genuinely good advisor, someone who actually cares, she keeps her guard up because she has been disappointed before, or she has watched the people she trusts get disappointed. What she is quietly hoping for is someone who truly understands her world, not just financial products, but the very tension she lives with every single day. The tension between having to be the strong one and needing to be protected, between providing for everyone around her and quietly wondering who is looking out for her, between her visible success and her private uncertainty. Now, when she finds this person, she does not need to be convinced, and she doesn't need another sales pitch. She reaches out on her own terms when she is ready, because the trust is already there. Now, that trust is not built in one meeting. It is built over time through consistent presence, through content that makes her feel genuinely seen, through every interaction where you prove that you are not just there for the transaction. So those are the 7 reasons. Competence doubt, the tension between protecting herself and feeling loyal, the approval trap, the comparison game, the mental energy cost of deciding what kind of insurance to buy, the difficulty of feeling the urgency about future, and the deep uncertainty about whether anyone is genuinely in her corner. Now, if you recognize yourself in any of those 7 reasons, I want you to know something important. You are not financially irresponsible, neither are you lazy. You are not someone who doesn't care about your own future. You are someone who has yet to find the right person and the right process that makes this feel safe and simple enough to actually do. And that is what I try to be. And that is what I try to create in every single conversation. So I've been doing this for 9 years. I work specifically with high-achieving women because I understand this world intimately. I understand the tensions, the unspoken fears, the complexity of making financial decisions inside a life that already has so many competing demands pulling at you from every direction. If you are ready to start, ready to talk, or even if you're not completely sure yet, even if you just want to understand where you currently stand, there's a link in my bio. I'm not just here when you are ready to buy. I'm here this whole time, and see you in the next video.